Okay, last but not least, we have pitch finalist number 3. It's Henry Chui of Zap Zap Math. Zap Zap Math are the future of math learning and believe that game-based learning will become the most well-received and efficient method of learning in the future. So big round of applause to Henry from Zap Zap Math.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're Zap Zap Math. Our mission is to make math learning fun and engaging for kids. Why? Because we've discovered that there's such a pain when it comes to math learning for kids. It's repetitive, it requires tons of practices, yet it's very difficult to be good at. However, parents and teachers understand that it's essential for kids to excel in math in order for them to excel in life. Zap Zap Math is here to change the way kids think about math. We are a mobile-first platform where kids can learn through engaging games from K to 6th grade. We're highly gamified. We have 20% of our content with higher order thinking elements. We have adaptive learning where we assess the kids' current level. We have progress. We have a web dashboard to keep track of kids' progress. We have learning assistants to try to get the kids to the next level. And lastly, we have a disruptive pricing of $9.99 full-year subscription with a vision of making math learning affordable and accessible to every children in the world. Our product consists of 180 interactive educational math learning games. And with that, with higher order thinking, kids starts with basic training and progress to accomplish more interesting mission. Our content can match any types of syllabus in any country. And with that, we also create a multiplayer quiz where kids within a classroom environment can play against each other, rank on the leaderboard, collect coins, unlock gifts, decorate their own spaceship, share it with their own friends. We also have a learning assistant to assess where the kids' current levels are and help them get to the next level through tutorial and practices. And parents and teachers, on the other hand, are able to keep track of the kids' progress through our web dashboard. And with that, you can drill down to that kid's current level in each of the math subtopics they have accomplished. And every single question they have answered is automatically marked, so we know exactly where they need help most. We know we're in the right space and the right time because game-based learning itself, its growth potential is enormous. The market's moving away from sort of the traditional ed tech where it's browser-based and e-learning, more to the mobile-based and game-based. And we know private investment sector in the game-based learning has grown over 400% year over year. The education tech global market is forecast to balloon to $250 billion in 2020. US ed tech companies alone has raised over $1 billion through 138 venture deals in 2016. And within those deals, startups that serve the K to 12 grade have raised over $430 million. We position ourselves in a quadrant of highly gamified, high game quality, ultra-wide content competing against the best global players. We know we're good because we are already collected 1.9 million downloads, 9.5 million questions answered. Every time a kid pick up a device, they play over 10 minutes. We have 13,000 parents, teachers signed up, close to 300,000 student profile, pilot over 120 schools, one of them being right here in Hong Kong. We have 2 products. The B2C product right now sells for $2.99 on any app stores, ranked top 3 right now for kindergarten focus, and the other one's $9.99, a B2B market primarily focusing for schools. We are projected to grow triple-digit organically over the next 3 years, and we can only do that with an awesome team. Starts with one of our co-founder, a 20-year VC veterans with multiple exits, triple-digit RR over the last decade. I myself, as a CEO, former Microsoft employee, 2 of my other co-founders, one being a former math teacher, and the other one being an awesome game designer sitting right there. With that, thank you. I'm open for Q&A.
Great presentation, Henry. We'll kick off the questions with Jishan.
Sure. So the pitch sounds great, and
thank you.
Obviously, I'm not a kid, and so how do we know this this sort of education that this thing works? How do you know that? And I know you have some numbers, but can you provide a little bit more data points around the usage and how is it working for the kids?
Okay, so on top of my head, I'll two things. One, on the data side, I don't know how, if you're in a classroom environment, how active kids are actually practicing math. They use notebooks and writing all that.
Right.
Right now, the school that's piloting Hong Kong right now, every day, every kid in the same grade play over 45 minutes of Zap Zap Math. 45 minutes of math practice. And what the teachers do after those practice, they send an email to their parents, recommend, which is our B2B model. They recommend to their parents and say, why don't you also download Zap Zap Math at home? Because your kids are actually very engaged in those environments. Now, on the other hand, from a data standpoint, Zap Zap Math has a web dashboard where teachers actually go into the dashboard. All 30 of their students are aligned, very organized into that web dashboard, drill down every single kid's, every single thing that they have accomplished into that Zap Zap Math engine, are able to reflect on the web dashboard. So teachers know exactly which students are very good at fraction, which one are exactly very good in algebra, and which one really needs help into accounting, for example. So I think that's something that it's our ecosystem where it helps the people, which is the teachers and parents, understand and know how kids actually progress through our ecosystem.
Go next to Bradley.
Do you envision Zap Zap History and Zap Zap Blank for other subjects, or is this unique to math and the gamification like this?
Well, first of all, we're a startup. And you're looking at investors, we're looking to raise fund. If you raise $100 million, you could see anything. Zap Zap everywhere. Primarily, we're focusing on Zap Zap Math. Obviously, we're K to 6th grade. We want to master that. We're going to market very aggressively right now. Globally expansion, we're ranked really top 3 in the app stores everywhere right now. So we're getting some really good tractions there. We wanted to get to the next level. Obviously, there's ambition because we are positioning ourselves as a global company. We're getting a ton of traction built in China and the US as well. So the answer to you is you can name it. Zap Zap anything down the road, basically.
And Anna.
So if you search the App Store, there are a lot of gamified education apps, right? So how do you guys turn this into a winner-takes-all category for Zap Zap? I mean, you mentioned going to teachers or schools. I mean, you're marketing to parents probably. But how do you really, like, how do you see yourselves, like if I gave you, say, $10 million,
Right.
how do you get there? What do you do?
So we sprint, basically, as fast as we can. This is a great time to be in it. Why? Because a lot of the schools that we've talked to are still what I mentioned earlier in the Education Tech 1.0. So a lot of those experience that they're having in game, they're basically on browser and mouse and all that. And we really want to move away from that. So schools are increasingly adaptive to mobile devices, and the ratios have increased. So therefore, we want to move in that space. And not a lot of players that are currently big in the edtech space are actually big in the mobile space. So parents and schools are very receptive of looking at different products. And on the other hand, if you know, some of these other products are very expensive. So they're in upwards of $50 to $100 per year or things like that. We deliberately price ourselves at less than $10. For that, it's so much easier for schools to just recommend to parents. And as a parent, you think this is good? Making a decision to make that $10 purchase is so much easier. So we know that it's winner takes all, but our tractions here in these particular markets, particularly to schools, our feedback has been very, very good.
That's perfect. Big round of applause for Henry from Zap Zap Math.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.